Welcome to Gloff's Fantasy Sports Network with your host and best hair in the business, Chip Waters. Your co-host and B-Liga representative, Buster Load. The man who is first on the scene and first in your hearts, Dick Trickle. Bringing you all the NFL updates. From Bangkok to Boise, this is GFSN.
Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of GFSN, the best sports network in the country and in the world. As always, I am Buster Load.
And I am the one and only Chip Waters. Welcome back. We have plenty planned out for this week's episode, but before we can get into all the action, it's time that we at GFSN offer you guys a formal apology.
That is right, folks. Last week, we did not air an episode due to some technical difficulties, some editorial problems, some private matters. But we are back on YouTube, ready for another episode. But if you want to check out what we did last week, be sure to follow our brand new TikTok page, GFSN TikTok.
Absolutely. We got some fun things going over on TikTok. It is a blast. Come join us over there. But like Buster said, we're back here on YouTube, and it's time for you guys to hear my sweet, sweet, soft voice giving you the Week 5 recap.
That's right, it's time for your weekly dose of Chips Recap Rundown. Kicking us off, as always, we have the commissioner and his honor roll who defeated America's team. My prized pupil of the week, Jalen Waddle, did not disappoint as he helped lead his manager to a victory. Final score, 140-111. The Moore Odunze Burden Law Group took Jettas to small claims court this week, but was unsuccessful as the presiding judge, Justin Jefferson, ruled not guilty, which resulted in a Bourne Legacy game. Not Jason, but Kendrick, which I'm sure we all had on our bingo cards this week. Final, 128-124. Moving on, I think it's time we all talk about our Premier League reigning champion, Cup of Bullshit, who now sits at 0-5. Till Barbie and his Kens ride Kyron Williams and Jamar Chase's 30-point performances to the 146-109 victory. Battling relegation battled Big Daddy D this week. A pair of Cowboys, Javonte Williams and the newly acquired Jake Ferguson, helped relegation move to 4-1. Final in this one, 157-128. 2 weeks ago, everyone thought this manager was a dead duck. But lo and behold, Purdy has his second straight win. CJ Stroud and Rico Dowdle led the way as they take down Barry's boys, 129-112. The final match of the Premier League slate came down to Monday Night Football. In the end, it was Xavier Worthy who outdueled Isaiah Pacheco and got his manager, Chef Boy HC, a critical win over Gus Johnson Gaffadix. Final 111-106. Now it's time for the B-Liga Gladiators, who fight for the chance to be a Premier League manager and fulfilling their lifelong dreams of rising through the depths of the gladiator pits to become a household name. First battle of Week 5 saw Buster's trusty sidekick and CeeDee Lamb running back Frowny Face. A key Rachaad White flex play was a huge deciding factor in getting CD running back his first win of the year. Buster Secretary's front office is under fire after they lose the first game without Jonathan Taylor, who was traded earlier this week. Final score, 153-143. Since we're on the subject of Jonathan Taylor, his new team saw instant results with a 31-point outing as a touch of downs secures the 120-117 victory over Swollen Units, who falls to 2-3, while Touch of Downs gets his third win in a row. Buster's fan team is not the only one who lost this week. While my guy didn't trade his best player, he did get a case of the overthinksies, as he benched Baker Mayfield and Krosky Merritt, who outplayed both of the starting tight ends that he played in his flex positions. But we don't live in the multiverse here at GFSN, and Joe Buck yourself gets the blowout win. You can take your pick on who contributed, as it was a solid effort by everyone on the squad, obviously minus Woody Marks. Final 139-91. A very important matchup for Prestige Worldwide and Gridiron Gods. JSN continues to prove he's a top 5 receiver in fantasy football. He was a game changer, outscoring A.J. Brown by 18 points. Prestige gets his first win, and Gridiron Gods moves to 4-1. Final 137-126. A key matchup for the standings position had 2-2 McAfrican Americans taking on 3-1 Everything Hurts. A bad break for Everything Hurts, as Juwan Jennings was forced into the lineup because of 2 big bye weeks on his bench. He was ruled out right before the game. On the other side, McCaffrey and another Jalen Waddle sighting get McCaffrey his third straight win. Try saying that 10 times fast. The Red Hot Renegade Express steamrolled another opponent this week. The rookie sensation Emeka Ibuka stole the show with a 31-point showing. Slick and Senko still sitting pretty at 3-2, but will look to shake this 2-game losing streak. Final score 147-110. Well, that was an excellent slate of games from Week 5. Things are shaping up to be a very exciting next few weeks. Plenty of rivalries approaching on the league schedule, but now it's time for a taste of the BBL.
Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new segment of Bus by Buster Load. Let's look back at Week 5 and look at the biggest shitheads of the week. First up, we got James Cook. Now, James, I know you and your team did get cooked by the New England Patriots, but goddamn, 4.9 points and in PPR? Terrible. Dog shit. You sold my team, you sold my buddy's team, you sold my grandma's team. Get out of here. But speaking of running backs, we're going to be looking at Demo Cardo for the Arizona Cardinals. How is it that in the year 2025, we're still getting people letting go of the football right before they reach the end zone? Get yourself a Chuck E. Cheese application. Get off the team. I want James Conner back. But we're going to be looking at a special wide receiver named A.J. Brown. Now, A.J., hey, they're throwing the football just like you asked. Doesn't mean you can catch it, though. You're still terrible. You might actually be bust of the year. And next player, I shouldn't say player, I should say manager up in the Premier League. Cup of bullshit. How is it that you have Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, and Quentin Johnston, and you're still 0-5? Buddy, get ready to be relegated. I'll be seeing you in the B League. And a special shout out, actually, the biggest dickheads of the week. The entire Chargers offense. Justin Herbert, Amarian Hampton, Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, and last but certainly not least, Quentin Johnston. All under 15 points, downright terrible, just like the Chargers. Now that we got the bus out of the way, let's take a look at Trickle's Trauma Unit.
Don't call it a comeback. We've been here before. Yes, this is Dick Trickle. This is my trauma unit. Those of you who haven't been here before, this is the injury waiver wire for this week. We'll go ahead and see how it all stacks up. As you can tell, I am in Indianapolis. I'd like to leave here soon. I'm here solely because of the great Mark Sanchez. Not so great. I just wanted to make him feel better about himself. He was stabbed this week and facing felony charges. The butt fumble man. Not the best nickname to have going into prison. I wish you all the best. Yeah, good luck. Let's kick things over to actual players who are actually playing right now and doing something for their team. Let's go with Lamar Jackson, kick things off. Lamar, please come back. The Ravens need you. I know you're dealing with your hamstring injury, but my oh my, you guys are lost. You're the only person on that team that can save them. I know you're questionable this week with your hamstring, let's see how your practices go. Maybe you'll be back, maybe you won't. Definitely one to monitor. Another one to keep an eye on is Omarion Hampton. He did leave this stadium this week in a walking boot. He is put on the IR. Hassan Haskins is taking over that starting job for the Chargers as their running back room continues to dwindle. Another running back to go ahead and keep an eye out on is Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving is definitely questionable this week. We shall see. He's dealing with a lower body injury as well. He is questionable. He had a chance to play this past week. They decided to play it safe. It sounds like they may continue to do so as the team continues to play well. And then the last one to keep an eye on this week is CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb could come back. They said 3 to 4 weeks. This is the third week. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain. George Pickens may be put back on the back burner again, but we never know. Keep an eye out on him. This is Trickle Trauma Unit. See you guys next week.
There are some tough decisions to be made for the managers this week. Some top name guys questionable to play this week. We'll see how it plays out.
That is right, Chip. We will have to see. But now it is time to look at the Week 6 matchups. And this is a special week, Chip, because this is the first week where we're going to get out-of-division matchups.
Ooh.
That's right. We're going to see some crazy stuff this week. We're going to see Rohan versus Mordor, Jedi versus Sith. Now, let's take a look and see how it all plays out.
First up, we have Battling Relegation versus Commissioner's Honor Roll. Starting off with a close matchup as Commissioner Gloff is favored by just 0.4 points. Zach stacked this week's lineup with the only 2 Dolphins worth having, while Will stacked his with the only 2 Cowboys worth having. This one can go either way, but I have Battling Relegation with the dub. Up next, we got more Odunze Burden Law Firm versus Purdy's Purdy. We got another close matchup, but for the wrong reasons. We got disappointing running backs versus disappointing wide receivers. For Remy, I got good news and bad news. Bad news is you got Derrick Henry, who's got the yips. Good news is you got Puka Nacua, who gives me hard nips. As for Middleman, you do have the better Henry in Hunter Henry, and Ashton Genty finally looks like he's back in Boise, and Jordan Love, who I just love in Cincinnati. This is tough, but my gut says to follow the yips and nips, so I got more Odunze Burden Law Firm with the win. Next matchup is Teal Barbie and his Kens versus Chef Boy HC. Bradbury has a stacked lineup this week, but the standouts being the pair of Rams and Williams and Stafford taking on the Swiss cheese defense of Baltimore. But hold on there, folks. Cromley answers back with Ibuka and Gibbs, who should be in shootouts with the Chiefs and 49ers. Despite the odds favoring Bradbury, I have an upset win this week for Chef Boy HC. Next up is Jettas versus Barry's Boys. Kyle Tolley has an admirable lineup this week with standouts like Tet McMillie, George Pickey, and J.K. Dobby. And while I normally praise Cameron's lineup, it looks like a nuclear bomb of injuries and bye weeks has crippled this team. With Justin Jefferson, Omarion Hampton, and Mike Evans gone, Jettas now has to rely on Hassan Haskins, Jake Tongs, Tony Pollard. Who are these guys? Give me Barry's Boys with the win. Here we go. Up next we have Big Zaddy T versus America's Team. Jacob's got some players in Patrick Mahomes and Chuba Hubba Bubba Hubbard, who are both due for big games. But Dylan has Jonathan Taylor and a surprise at tight end Darren Waller to ball out for him this week. America, both the team and the country, are in shaky and uncertain times right now. So this week, I got... Last matchup of the Premier League, we have Cup of Bullshit versus Gus Johnson. Armstrong has a great team, but also has 100 more points scored on him than the manager behind him, making him 0-5. But don't count him out, as he has a pair of Chargers receivers and everyone's favorite Swiftie at tight end. But he does have to go up against the gauntlet of Marcus, as he rocks Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, and the return of Bijan Robinson fresh off the bye week. I've said it 5 times before, and I have been wrong 5 times, but damn it, I still believe. Give me Cup of Bullshit with the win. First matchup of B-Liga, we got Chip Thielen for Brown Waters versus Buster Lode's Secretary. Not only is this a battle of 2 and 3s, but is also a battle between brothers. Both managers are coming in rocking low-floor, high-ceiling players. Eric with Scary Terry and DJ Moore, Andrew with Rashid Shaheed and Devontae Smith. This is going to be close, but I have Buster Lode's Secretary with the win. Up next, we have Joe Buck Yourself versus Swollen Units. This one looks like it'll be decided early, as both rosters are mostly playing Thursday or early morning Sunday. But the standouts for each manager are Debo and Ferguson for Ant, and Odunze and Chase for Michael. Despite neither team's running backs impressing me, I'm going to go with Joe Buck Yourself for the win. In what should be a shootout, we have a Touch of the Downs versus Prestige Worldwide. Jose's lineup this week has him stacked at running back and wide receiver positions with JSN and H-Han as the standouts. And while Isaac is dealing with the troubles of bye weeks and his running back 2 Omarion Hampton on IR, he still has Jonathan Taylor and Drake London to steer the ship. Still, I do think this will hinder his team this week, so I got Prestige Worldwide with the win. Up next, we have the Gridiron Gods versus McAfrican Americans. Now this is interesting, as Jorge clearly has the advantage in running backs and wide receivers, but Matt has the edge in quarterback, tight end, even defense and kicker. While I think Jorge's skill position players will do better, I think Matt and the Gridiron Gods win in a game of inches. Certainly something I've never won. Next up, we have CD running back versus Slick Canseco. Now this is a close match, with Jacob with top-tier running backs, Andrew with top-tier wide receivers, and each one with a powerhouse at quarterback. This one should be decided early, as there are 4 players in the Broncos-Jets London game, but I'm going to give the edge to CD running back and for Jacob to get the win. Last and certainly not least, we have Everything Hurts versus the undefeated Renegade Express. Now, Chase has a solid chance, as he has Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley fresh off of a loss and therapy session to go in and kick the Giants' asses on Thursday. But man, the 4-headed monster of Jacobs, Henry, Cook, and Judkins should make any opposing manager tremble. I got Renegade Express continuing their winning streak.
Hello, everybody. It's time for Chips Tips, the go-to show to help you figure out who to start and who to bench this week. Looking ahead at week 6, those beautiful previews by Buster Lode got us excited. But here we have a couple of helpful handouts to help managers get on track this week. Starting with the starts of the week. At quarterback, it is Justin Fields. The Ohio State quarterback is a 20-plus candidate every time he steps onto the field healthy. He needs to be in your lineup going forward. Another breakout running back that we need to talk about, Rico Dowdle, the Panthers running back, looks to continue his workhorse load as Chuba Hubbard continues to recover from his injury. If Chuba Hubbard is out, Rico Dowdle is a no question, undoubted need to be started every week that Chuba is out. And Debo Samuel, the South Carolina Gamecock. He is truly the number 1 option for Jaden Daniels in Washington. He needs to be in the wide receiver 2 or the flex position. If you have him as a flex, you must have a good team because he is having a great season. He needs to be playing for you. Now we're talking about the stinkiest of the stinky, the sits of the week. And starting at the quarterback spot, it's Jackson Dart for me. I just don't love the matchup against Philly. They're not going to be happy after giving up a lead to Denver this last week. They are going to make it really hard on the rookie. I don't expect him to have big numbers, so put him on the bench. And at running back, unless you absolutely, positively need a body at the running back position, I am not starting Hassan Haskins. Yes, he is RB1 in LA right now, but I don't trust that the usage is going to be there for him as it was for Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton. I would give him a sort of a tester week to see if he really does produce. But last but not least, the Raider, Jacoby Myers. You need to be on the bench. You're too inconsistent right now. There are plenty of other options for Geno Smith out there that have been proven to be more of a priority in the offense. Jacoby Myers needs to be on the bench, gentlemen. And there you have it.
Just like Shakira's hips, chips, tips don't lie. Moving on to the Dick's Picks next. Welcome everybody. I'm Dick Trickle. This is Dick Picks, and those of you who are new to this, as you know, I like to take my Dick Picks nice and slow. NFL Week 6, let's go. Eagles versus Giants. This is the Eagles in that one. Broncos over Jets. Let's go Broncos in that one. Might be a trap game. We don't know. Seahawks, Jaguars. Let's go Seahawks. Jaguars got lucky as fuck this week. Chargers versus Dolphins. Let's go Chargers in that one. Rams versus Ravens. Ravens suck. Let's go Rams. Cardinals versus Colts. Let's go Colts in that one. They're legit. Cowboys versus Panthers. We're going to go Cowboys in that one. Patriots versus Saints. Let's go Patriots in that one. Patriots might be it. I don't know. Browns versus Steelers. Let's go Steelers in that one. Browns fucking suck. Titans versus Raiders. Let's go Raiders in that one. Titans are lucky as hell. They won this past week. Bucks versus 49ers. Bucks in that one. Bengals versus Packers. Packers are okay. Let's pick the Packers in that one. Lions versus Chiefs. Lions are the best team in the NFL. Let's go Lions. Bills versus Falcons. Let's go Bills in that one. Bears versus Commanders. Let's go Commanders in that one. This is Dick. I'm out.
Alrighty, everyone. Now, that was a great segment of Dick's Picks. But I think we know what time it is, Chip.
Absolutely.
It's time for the load mode. That's right, folks. We're going to be doing a little bit of gambling with a slight edge and danger. Now, I do have another parlay for all you folks at home. We're going to be doing a touchdown parlay this week.
Big money.
For this week, I got Josh Jacobs against the Bengals to get a touchdown. Quinshon Judkins touchdown. Javonte Williams touchdown. And the hometown hero, J.K. Dobbins touchdown. That's a $10 bet to win 72, folks. That is free money. Absolute free money. But we do like to keep our integrity here. If my parlay does not hit, I will be doing a beer mile on camera. That is right. I hate beer. I hate running. This is going to be an exciting one. Hopefully it hits.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch you lose. It's always a good time, though, losing and doing these punishments. But let's see what we have in the Premier League for a potential bet between me and you this week.
I like it. I have been looking at all the matchups, and I think the one that intrigues me the most is Cup of Bullshit versus Gus Johnson Gaffs.
Well, I'm very glad you said that because that's my favorite matchup of the week, the most appetizing as far as putting a little bit of a wager down. Who do you have?
Well, I think it's only fair that we say it at the same time.
I agree. Let's do it on three.
On three. 3, 2, 1.
Gus
Cup
Johnson
of
Gaffs.
Bullshit. Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. Some differing opinions.
All right. Well, I think we have our bet. I got Cup of Bullshit. You got Gus Johnson.
Put her there.
All right.
Always a pleasure, Buster.
But I think we do need to have a punishment as always.
Yes.
And the one I have this week is loser has to go cower in a corner while everyone else in studio gives him an egg firing squad. That is right. All on camera.
That is going to be messy, messy, messy for one of us.
Oh, it is going to be for one of us. Definitely not me.
A great load mode. Thank you, Buster. But now that we have our new bet, I think it's time that we cash in an old bet. I think if you remember correctly, you mentioned being waterboarded if your parlay lost. And lo and behold, the Dolphins screwed you. And I called some of my associates, and they're going to help us out today. As a matter of fact, here they are now.
Wait, I was just kidding, Chip. Wait, who are these guys? Yo.
Thank you all for watching. I do want to give a quick disclaimer. If you have any issues with light torture, please turn away now. For everyone else viewing at home, just remember, this is a professional stunt performed by professionals. Please do not try this at home. Without further ado, let's get back to the show. You think I enjoy this shit? You think I enjoy this, Buster? You said it was free money! Free money! Well, I'll tell you what, it is very, very nice to be on this side of the punishment, Buster. You know I didn't enjoy that, right? It's all fun and games here at GFSN, but as always, gentlemen, ice your knees.
Lace up those cleats.
I'm Chip Waters.
And I'm Buster Load.
This is GFSN. Thank you and good night.